Hey everybody, how are you doing this morning? It's Dr. Cindy Stark coming in live for my Tuesdays at 10 a.m. talks every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I come in here live on my personal Facebook page. Talk about all kinds of things. Usually, I'm talking about childhood trauma and ways that we can actually help help ourselves learn tools that for the rest of our lives that we can release the effects of childhood trauma on our subconscious mind. But today, for this whole entire month of June 2022, and this is the second Tuesday, so we have two more to come. I'm talking about physical body instead of like, I feel like our subconscious mind and the inner childhood trauma and the trauma release and all that is more our mental body. This is going to be talking about our physical body for this whole entire month of June. So last week I talked about sleep and just how to not only optimize the sleep that you get, but also everything that happens in our bodies when sleep is occurring. Sometimes we think about it as not really that important of a time of our day because we think that what we're doing in our day when we're awake are the important things. But really, as a doctor, I'm an internal medicine doctor. If you guys are coming in, meeting me for the first time, I'm an internal medicine doctor here in Gainesville, Georgia, and I've spent 30 years of my life seeing just what happens when people are not getting the sleep that they need and not optimizing that. So that's what we talked about last time. This week, we're going to be talking about physical body health. I've created a 6-week program called Reclaim Your Health, and it goes into a really deep dive with a lot of one-on-one attention and accountability and questionnaires for everything I'm going to be discussing today. But this is just a really brief overview of it. And anyway, I just don't think that most people realize just what we are doing to wreak havoc on the health of our bodies. As if we did know, we would not do what we were doing as Americans. So if you're coming in live, can you just type in hashtag live? Hey Jenny, I'm so glad to have you here. And then if you're coming in on the replay, just write in hashtag replay. And then two other things I always want to say is if anything that I say today rings true for you, chances are it's going to ring true for some of your friends and family. So just share this on your personal page. It means the world to me when anyone shares one of my talks because I think about it sometimes. I take a lot of pride and joy, and I prepare these talks for you guys. And so I love it when the fruits of my labor are kind of shared with other people. But not only that, this knowledge that I have in my brain and in my heart and in my soul and how it affects me being at the bedsides of Americans for the past 30 years, right? I mean, I started knowing I wanted to be a doctor when I was about probably 20, and now I'm 52 years old. I just love to not to think that all that didn't go to waste, on just the people. Not that it's gone to waste. That's a terrible way to put it, but the experience that I have and the experience that I bring to the table doesn't just get spent on the people that are in my realm that happen to be at the other side of on the bedsides of America, that the people that I get exposed to. But I would just love to share this knowledge with other people so that you don't have to meet other doctors on any of the bedsides of America. So that being said, I have taken about 10 pages of notes. I know I'm not going to be able to get through all this. Last week when I was talking about sleep, I asked people, what would you like to hear about next? And the things that I heard the most were how to upgrade ingredients of our food to upgrade the quality of our life, and then also talking about movement. So that's what I'm going to talk about today is anything we can do with the food that we eat, all right? So one thing I want to know, I want to know from everybody coming in is I just want you to type in how many servings of fruits and vegetables that you eat in a given day. Uh, I know the numbers are going to be dismal, so I am like preparing myself for what it's going to be. But I just want as you're coming in, just write that in, and that's going to come into play later on in the talk. So most of the times when I come in here, I'm talking about childhood trauma, and not only just trauma that we may have gotten exposed to with things like rape or bullying or being mistreated by teachers and things, but What do you mean by one each? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner? I mean, how many? One fruit, one vegetable each day. Okay, sorry, I forgot how I worded the question. So, how many total servings of fruits and vegetables do you eat each day? That's what I want you to type in the comments as I'm talking. But anyway, so for those of you who don't know, I run a 12-week transformational health program where we go in and we get rid of all the effects of childhood trauma that are buried deep in our subconscious mind that we don't even know about. And so many of us think that the trauma is what happened to us when it happened to us, but really it's the trauma is not the inciting event that happened when we were kids. It's what we made those tell ourselves about ourselves for the rest of our lives. If that led us to think that we were unworthy or that we were unlovable, then we literally are able to accidentally we our trauma and what it does to us makes us find ways to know that we are unlovable, so and unworthy of love. So what I realized going through a whole year of like getting amazing rock star clients and getting them amazing results is that now they have this new set of tools and they know that they're lovable. They know they're worthy of every single thing great that happens to them. But what if they just don't feel good? And it doesn't matter how strong and how confident they are, but if they don't feel good, then what does it I feel like, okay, so you have this newfound freedom and this like amazing powerhouse mental mindset. But if you're just laying in the bed because you're sleepy all day long, what did that really matter? That's just me. That's just how I have kind of seen excuse me, things as I've gone along. So I started thinking about what else can I teach the people so that they can feel, not only so that their insides can match their outer body, right? So that now that they have a great mindset and they know how strong they are, now that they have that energy to go out and just tackle the day. Well, one of the biggest things that I came up with is how to help people realize that they are what they eat, and give them accountability on helping them realize if you upgraded your ingredients, you upgrade your life. Well, what does that mean, upgrade your ingredients, and what does that matter? So anyway, so what I want to start at the beginning, and I'm building a case for why you need to believe what I'm going to say in this talk, okay? And I do want to give credit where credit is due. I went to Emory Medical School, so I got a lot of knowledge. I'm in my 20s. I probably spent, 17 years in academia. But the stuff that I'm bringing you today came from hours and hours and hours of listening to lectures from this amazing gastroenterologist named Robin Chutkan. She's an Indian physician. She's a marathon runner, and she's based out of, I think, Michigan or one of those states that begins with MI. And I will reference her book later on here in the comments after I finish. So I just want you to know that that I'm not a gastroenterologist. This did not come from my brain, but I am summarizing some of the amazing teachings that this woman has shared with me, and it's completely changed my life and the lives of my children and the lives of anybody that come to my house and eat a meal at my table. And I'm hoping and praying that with the power of my conviction that I will be able to impress upon you the truth in this woman's words, because what she has taught me took everything that I learned at Emory Medical School and like put it on steroids. So anyway, all right, I'm seeing between 2 and 5 servings almost everybody. Okay, so that's great. So first things first, what I want you guys to realize is that, and what Dr. Chutkan made me realize, is that when we're born, we think pretty much our bodies are just human, right? We see this human body, we see this human skin, human hair, but what she's made me realize is that we are literally thousands more by weight bacteria than human, okay? And you don't even see these bacteria because they are completely invisible. They live all on our skin. They live in your fingernails. They live in your eyes, in your nose, in your mouth, in your ears, in your colon, in your reproductive tract. We as women have thousands and thousands of different strains of bacteria that keep our reproductive systems healthy and whole. And every one of us realize that if we have to be put on a course of antibiotics in our life for some reason, then what do you get? A terrible yeast infection, right? So then you have to take antifungals. Also want to tell you guys that I am bringing this talk today. I'm bringing it to you live through at Northeast Georgia Home Health. That's why the setting looks different here. And Lynn, the Reiki, the master Reiki practitioner, that's on my team. She's here delivering Reiki healing to 5 lucky souls yesterday and 5 lucky souls yesterday. And so that's where I'm here while she's am in there with the music of the angels and all the sage and the incense. I'm back here in a hallway. So if you hear some extra laughing and sounds and see me looking away and looking distracted, I'm trying to stay focused. But I just wanted to let y'all know that. So anyway, back to, yeah, can you hear that, Kelly? Literally, there's a biohazard room and then a bathroom. That's the only two available rooms. And I'm like, I'm not going to give this talk from a bathroom or a biohazard room. So I'm just sitting right here by the kitchen. And yes, Lynn is an angel. I'll have to tell her that. She's standing right there. She's in between clients. Anyway, so these bacteria and what they do to our bodies. They are so important, and you think that maybe you're the one running the show on a lot of things that happen in your body, and I'm just here to tell you that a lot of it, almost 99% of what we do in our bodies, we are not the star of the show. Those bacteria are the star of the show. It's almost like when my son Wyatt was on stage, you would think that the actors and the dancers are the stars of the show. What does it matter that those actors are there um, entertaining us if the maintenance worker has not come in and cleaned the aisles, if the Georgia Power hasn't brought light to the building, if the Lynn, everybody is saying that you're an angel. If you want to say hello, there she is.
Blessings, all. Morning. Working.
Anyway, what does it matter if you can't see the actors and the actresses? So if the sound engineers aren't there, if you can't hear them, if you can't see them, if the power isn't there. So that's what I want you to think about the bacteria. You think that you're the star of your show, but it's really the bacteria. So we have to very, very diligently and with extreme care and a lot of focus care for those bacteria in our body. And I know that's a concept that none of us are taught. My goodness, I have 2 doctorate degrees and I was never taught this. I didn't know any of what I'm sharing with you today. I knew a little bit of it, but I didn't know to I don't know, I was about 45 years old. So what is it? What are some things that all of us do take diligent and extreme care of in our bodies? Y'all write down some things that y'all take care of. I know for me, I spend a lot of time and a lot of money and a lot of my mental attention and even my looking at my fingernails all the time, my hair all the time, right? I spend a lot of money on making sure my hair, my skin of my face, skin on my body. What else? You guys help me think of anything else that you spend a lot of time thinking about. I mean, our bacteria, they never get any kind of star of the year. And I would imagine if there's anything that we do is we know that every 10 years, and people don't even do this, but every 10 years they might get a good look at in our colon to screen for colon cancer, but no one actually goes in and talks about the actual makeup of your gut bacteria. Yeah, hair. I really think hair is one of the biggest things, Jenny, because the weeks we seem like we're always getting something done to our hair, whether it's coloring up your touching up your gray, things like that. I'm thinking of teeth. I spend a lot of time and money and on my teeth. Okay, feet. Yeah, fingernails, right? Yes, Kathy, brain. So much. I tell you what, girl, Kathy and I were in a healing program to get rid of the subconscious blocks and trauma from our childhood trauma. And I've spent the entire year of 2020 and 2021 doing nothing but caring for my brain. I was so sick and tired of how everything in my brain I felt that was just preventing me from living the life that I wanted. That I spent 2 whole years, literally, sometimes 20 hours a week, sometimes 20 hours a month, doing meditations, learning so many things, going to lectures, trying to learn everything about my brain. But yeah, I think most people, they spend a lot of time thinking about it, of their eyes, their teeth, their hair, their skin, and their nails. But anyway, I'm just here to tell you, let's just put one more thing on the list, okay? I'm not telling you don't worry about all those things, because those things are important too. But our bacteria are the ones that are really going to help us. If we can just put a little bit of focus and attention there, and you guys can talk to me and tell me as time goes on, as I'm delivering these talks, if you would want refreshers on this kind of subject, or I can just like at least put up maybe a weekly reminder of things that we can do. But I'm going to give you a list right now. That's right, Jenny. A list of things that our bacteria in our guts and in our, it's not just our gut. I mean, like I said, they live in our noses and our mouths, in our respiratory tract, in our lungs, everything. These are just a short list of what they're responsible for. Our emotions and our mood, our hormone production, any kind of hormones. We're a big host of hormones. Our cravings, and Jenny, this is a lot of this is going to help you with your sugar cravings. Mental health, cancer risk, diabetes, predisposition, and fat metabolism. Okay, so what I want you to think about is that your bacteria and you are in a symbiotic relationship. They need you to live because they cannot live without you giving them food to eat. Hey, Pat, no problem. Don't you worry about it. And then also, you need them to live, because if they're not doing what they're supposed to do, you are not what you are thought of as a human. Seriously, I mean, we think that it's just our, you know, that everything that happens to keep us alive and keep all of our hormones being made is just kind of on autopilot. But so much of it, even the way that we um, metabolize and break down vitamins in our food, they're due to the bacteria being in the right proportion in the right strains. Okay, now what do bacteria eat? um, What's up with prebiotics? Do we need to feed the microbes? Absolutely, we have to, right? I mean, the bacteria live on fiber, and pretty much the only way that they're going to get fiber is for you to eat certain things so that it goes into the right places in our body, and actually feeds them to keep them alive and healthy and whole and healed. So it turns out the biggest, most influential factor of that we have on our bacteria is what we eat. And I do believe that just gets me so upset, but in America, especially as a 52-year-old woman, what I see in people, my age, is that we focus on eating for two things: either for weight loss because we want to look a certain way, or maybe like diabetes prevention. I don't know, I see that a lot because people are not wanting to get diabetes because of all the different things that come up with diabetes. But what we really need to do is just focus on eating for our bacteria that are in our colon and elsewhere in our body, and then those bacteria will take care of the weight loss and the diabetes prevention and everything else. Okay, so y'all understand that? So let's eat for our, I'm going to call it a microbiome for some time. Sometimes I'll interchange that with our gut bacteria. Basically, we need to grow a good gut garden, all right? We don't want to just have one thing in our garden, right? We want to have like all kinds of things in our garden. I'm speaking in a metaphor, like if you grew a garden, just think about your gut as a garden, and you just want all kinds of strains of beautiful things to grow in that garden. All right. So if you realize the influence you have as a woman, all right, uh, and how the influence that you have on your kids, and then your kids' friends, and then your kids' kids, you can affect a beautiful, powerful, wonderful, like you can create a ripple of like a chain, like you can create a wave of helping everybody else not just think that, oh, well, for breakfast we're going to have a donut, and for lunch I'm going to have a quesadilla with fries, and for dinner I'm going to have a pasta with chicken and a breadstick. That's absolutely no vegetables, no fruits, whatsoever. So the best thing you can do, okay, for those bacteria are to eat fibers, and the best way to get them the variety of the fibers they need is to do the rule of 1, 2, 3. Just try to eat a serving of fruits or vegetables